Typically, we are looking for somebody who has experience in automobile background. We have a very flexible model now when it comes to reaching to customer. So today we have a very mature system where we track and trace every single part movement of a vehicle. So every month there is a discovery of what the new parts are required.
I think in the tire life they can save up to 10% to 15% additional. Once we get the approval from the surveyor or the customer, we normally try to do it within 14 days. If you see, there's a lot of vehicle inflow which is increasing day by day. So when a customer walks in, he should feel proud that he's buying a Eicher truck.
Welcome back to Trans India. Real people, real emotions. We continue our interaction with Ramesh Rajagopalan as he dwells further into the initiatives that have strengthened the service network of Eicher, backing the trucks with a reliable service network which makes sure that the trucks keep rolling for maximum time. So here's the second part of our interaction with Ramesh as he passionately talks about a task that is so close to his heart. This time, we are down on the workshop floor for the second part of our interaction. So Ramesh, we spoke about the Eicher revamping or rather scaling up the dealer network. Now, what are the parameters you take into account while appointing a new dealer?
It goes like this. So when we identify a geography, new geography, where you're looking for dealership, typically we are looking for somebody who has experience in automobile background. Typically, if you look at the profile of most of our dealers, are they are involved. They are dealership for either a commercial vehicle. There could be a car dealership. There could be a large transporter who are very familiar with the nuances of the commercial vehicle industry. There are some places where we have a connected business line, like you have a big, large petrol pump, the diesel pumps are there. So we have good land availability also. Because this is a bit of capital intensive business. So you need a large size in terms of size space. So we are also looking from a place point consideration, the large space available on the highway. Because most of the trucks are running on the highways. Visibility is very important. Accessibility from the main roads to the workshops. So I think that these are some of the prime considerations, and will require normally a size of minimum around 25,000, starting 25,000, and then goes into a couple of acres of size depending on the potential. Now, what has changed in the last few years is the identification of the right location, because that has been a challenge. Many times the cities are evolving, the highways are evolving, so we constantly monitor the new highways. So every time we go back to the drawing board and see, okay, a lot of expressways are coming now. So we constantly kind of remap the network requirement first. And the connected vehicles are also giving us a lot of insights. So we know exactly where are those blind spots for us, where are the trucks running, where we are not represented adequately. So we have multiple formats of dealerships. So what you see here is a typical 3S setup where you get sales, service and parts. Then we have 2S setups, which is only service and parts also. Okay. And then we have smaller site support models, which is another major area for us. We have close to 400 plus site supports for typical mining customers, where our dealers as well as the company also directly offers a site support. Okay. So whereas there are 50 plus vehicles running in a small geography of mining, maybe on an irrigation project, we offer them on-site support. We have our containers, we have parts kept there. We have mobile service vans also. And where these are different models of taking the service to the customer doorstep. So large fleets, we operate in their own workshops also. Okay. So we provide a site support, a team of people with the parts arrangement, because they will save a lot of time on bringing the vehicles to workshop. So we have a very flexible model now when it comes to reaching to customer. So network in terms of setups, these are some of the criteria which we see. They have to be on the highways. Sometimes industrial area, warehouses, parking there. You have the industrial corridors where they will be there. New highways we are constantly mapping now. Okay. And where you find a lot of highways, big stretches, there is no service availability even. So they run for 150 kilometers. There is no setup there. So there we are remapping ourselves with the evolving logistic hubs.
Ramesh, the challenge or the most critical area of any dealership is the spare part availability. This was a complaint which was a long-standing one. How much has Eicher corrected that?
Well, parts goes hand in hand with the service needs. As we talked about a little earlier, I think the fundamental of aftermarket is only the parts. So if any vehicle requires, sometimes there's only a minor adjustment, fine. Otherwise, it's all the time parts are required. So we have had our own very good journey, I would say, last 5 years. And because we started focusing on retail excellence, where we wanted to ensure that trucks are back on road the fastest time. So parts being an integral part, several initiatives we have taken. First thing is we kind of use the collective intelligence on parts, which parts will be required to be stocked in dealerships. So in a massive network, it becomes challenging as well because we have a spread of 75,000 plus part lines. You will not be sure where to keep which part. And so there is a lot of intelligence goes in these days with the technology getting better, the IT systems are getting better. So we have started a system 4 years back where we set the norms which parts should be kept in which dealership basis what kind of trucks are running, the model make. So today we have a very mature system where we track and trace every single part movement of a vehicle. So since I talked about the connected ecosystem, so we know exactly part by part consumption per minute per day. So what get consumed in this dealership will get replaced the next 2 days. So we have come to the stage we are no longer dependent on any individual intelligence at the every dealership that they plan their own stocks. To that extent, we also ensure that whichever parts are not moving also, we take it back and we ensure that the right parts are kept all the time.
Okay.
And going down and logistically, we are well positioned now. We have a central warehouse in our Pithampur factory and followed by another 9 locations where we have the regional distribution centers. And then we have a layer of aggregators, parts aggregators, and distributors of the states. They also become our stocking points and the dealership. So it goes back from the dealership, what gets consumed get replaced. If it is not available, then immediately the aggregator is sending the parts. So we have SLAs, like for example, today I can vouch that close to around 250 parts plus, which are the most critical parts to be available. We ensured every day, we ensure that this is available all the time at all the best shops. To the extent I can even go and promise a customer if it is not made available 24 hours, that part will be, given free of charge to him. So that's a confidence we have built over a period of time. And most importantly, we have made the entire process of parts ordering, it's so simple. And the dealer has to just work on the system every day. They check the inventory levels, all that they have to manage the workshop and the parts warehouse, check for the perpetual inventory, and so that the stocks are maintained well. So whatever I see as in a stock and computer, that part is also physically available. So that's the kind of maturity we have reached there in terms of parts. So it continues to be a very, very interesting area for us in parts. So we will continue to work on smaller areas, which part, again, the connectivity is playing a major role there. So, for example, this geography would not have sold this truck earlier, but there could be a truck coming from the east or some other market, first time ever. So every month there is a discovery of what new parts are required. The system is very agile. So it immediately learns and system and next part will be supplied here. Okay. So it's a constant process, but I think I would say today we have in a very, very strong situation where we even now commit to customer that we have something called Zarur Milega campaign, in port now. So we talk about parts will be available all the time across the network for us.
So many people often promise that, okay, if you don't get this thing, the part will be free or something. Of these campaigns we see all over. An honest statement, have you ever given out any free parts, or has there been a need to give out free parts?
Yes, of course. This is a learning journey. So there will be some time. We worked out the system much before we went out to the market. But then there will be few cases. There are few cases which we have to give it. But at the end of the day, the idea is not to give free. Idea is to get the system under pressure that we keep the part. And the technology allows us to plan it so well. And there will be some instances where the part is not available genuinely because it's not so predictable. Right. But fine, I think that's a small,
learning cost.
That's how it is. The larger purpose is much higher than this. So this list is getting more and more stable now. So today I would be saying that we have this Eicher breakdown service, which is 24/7 EOS. There we are having strong SLAs now. Today I can probably say that anywhere in the country, we'll be able to reach within 3 hours. So close to 93-94% of times we are able to within 3 hours. The second thing is recovery. We have a SLA. So for a light and medium duty truck and the buses, we talk about 10 hours. And close to 91% of the times, the instances, we are able to put the vehicle back on road. This includes the reach time also. Okay, effectively they get 7 hours time. If they reach in 3 hours, 7 hours time. And heavy duty trucks, we reach in 15 hours, we put the vehicle back on road. And one major change you brought in is that you have seen the Uptime Center earlier. So we have set up something called the control tower. So the control tower is focusing on some of the critical applications like time-sensitive application, especially the heavy-duty trucks and the buses, which are the overnight sleeper coaches and this kind of buses. Then e-commerce application. These are close around 75,000-80,000 trucks are there, which we are constantly monitoring at every stage. This is proactive monitoring. So whether they're waiting for a repair outside the workshop, if they're inside the workshop, they have a breakdown, the vehicle waiting for a parts. So we proactively track and trace. So the idea is to ensure that the high value proposition is delivered to this customer. So if there's a vehicle in the workshop now, they're waiting for a repair and the mechanic is a little bit struggling to get it, the technician can call back. So then we ensure that. And we also track, since the vehicle is in the workshop, we know the job carding is made, We have the gate-wise system, T0 to T6, from the gate in to gate out. And we also monitoring vehicles waiting outside the gate to ensure that the vehicles are taken in fast. And once it is in, for every repair, there's a specific time. And beyond that, if the vehicle is not complete, there is a call from the Uptime control center.
Okay.
So they will call up and ask the technician or the service advisor, why is it getting delayed? Is there any help you want? Is there any part you want? Is there any warranty decision you want? Is there any customer confirmation you want? So we try to proactively ask. And
The constant monitoring is there.
proactive monitoring. So idea is it's an obsession that vehicle should be out. Vehicle should be in the customer's business, not in our workshop.
Absolutely.
So that you chase, we ensure that all the because many times the help doesn't need to be asked. So we constantly monitor from back end.
Absolutely.
And we have tight SLAs again with the vehicle. What parts are required. We ensure that it is flown in immediately on priority. To the extent sometimes we need to pick up some part from the line also. So be it. We do that and then we ensure that the vehicle is put back on road.
So Ramesh, while the vehicle is waiting in the dealership or maybe a service or repair or whatever, the person getting that truck in, that is a truck driver, is there any mandate to dealerships to set up some kind of a facility for drivers?
It is evolving now. A lot of dealerships now have shown. We have the driver waiting room. That's the standard, of course. And there are now large setups now. They are also having driver resting facility because many times we are open 24/7, as I told you earlier. So we are working on 24/7 facility. So customers come in the night. So they need a resting place. And again, most of the dealerships we have the diesel exhaust fluid sold at the counter. Even the shops are closed for the night.
Right.
But there's always some constantly availability of there. And driver restroom, for example, this workshop has a fantastic facility of driver restroom, overnight restroom, with even a facility to have food basis out there. And I think this is becoming a new norm there. Wherever we have large highway workshops, we are providing space and some comfort for drivers because they're on the track. All that they need is a little bit of resting time there while trucks are getting repaired. So otherwise, in the early days, people are there always waiting next to the truck and watching what is being done. So I think their job is to do driving of the truck. I think
Catch some rest while that.
yeah. That helps.
Ramesh, recently Eicher launched the Pro X series and a new set of dealerships came up for the Pro X series.
Yeah.
Why the need for a separate dealership? Why not within this?
Yeah, it little bit goes into the, again, philosophy of how do you want to take care of the customers of that segment. A small commercial vehicle is another segment which is completely different set of needs. Although they're commercial vehicles, I think we respect the each of their what is the personal profile of those customers. And while it's a easy task for us, for example, we could have gone to all 150 by touch point, we can approve in a day, we can start like this. But as a business model, we decided that we will give that it's a different space altogether. Customer expectations are a little bit different from these customers. We wouldn't want to mix up these two. So many times the dealers could be same. It's an independent network we have kept.
A setup is
There are other reasons, like for example, these large commercial vehicles have most of them are away from city. They are beyond the city limits, and normally because of the transport availability. And these small commercial vehicles get into the cities. You have the APMC markets and this kind of markets where you need to be in the city. So these setups may not be compatible. So there are possibilities wherever we will leverage, wherever we are currently in our network, will be leveraged for the secondary backup support for the breakdowns. Otherwise, primarily, we want to give them a very good experience for both this set of customer and the small commercial in their respective domain. So we don't want to have any internally conflict situation. There is a small truck and a big truck. Sometimes it's the priority. Right. So unnecessarily we are conflicting on that. So we said, okay, there is a separate network which can be managed independently. That gives a lot of focus there.
Actually, Ramesh, you've come a long way in terms of setting up the after sales network, which has grown, become efficient. Any targets from here on? What are the future plans like?
Now, I would say very generic, without being any specific. I think I explained to you. I think the emerging opportunities, I would say, is the service capacity. We are, as I said, the vehicle park is growing, and it's not going out of the network itself. And our own information and data says close to 88 to 90% of 4-year to 5-year-old vehicles are still within the network only. So the 5 years, in the earlier days, 3 years, 2 years, they tend to go out to the secondary system. Today we have high retention thanks to all the initiatives we have taken. Customer gets that comfort in the authorized network. That being said, because of the higher running of the vehicle and other things, we are now seeing a happy situation where we are challenged for more capacity. So we would invest our time and energy on creating more capacity, leveraging existing network. How can we leverage more and more in terms of productivity? And you will see a lot of productivity improvement tools. So it helps both ways. productivity from the workshop point of view, we can get to serve more vehicles. Same time, customer get the benefit of putting the, getting the vehicle back on road fast. So the focus would be on competency, on the manpower front with the competency, the attention of manpower, getting skilled manpower and training them. That's one way. Capacity is another topic where we'll have to be heavily focused, and reach in terms of geography. So there will be still blind spots. So we would look at going forward, how can we make the 3 hours to even more challenging to make it 2 hours? So the 150 kilometer average distance, can it be brought down? These are some of the areas.
You are still scouting for new dealers?
There will be geographies where we will look at. Normally, the first choice would be for existing dealers, because each dealer operates on a kind of given preferred area, and there they have the ability to go and implement their own expansion. And there are some areas where beyond the bandwidth, so there probably we look for additional area. And there are white spots somewhere where we are not having enough representation. So there we would look at additional geography.
Ramesh, one final question on a personal note. Why did you choose the after-sales segment, which is considered to be one of the toughest to crack?
No, by choice. I'm a hardcore automobile engineer, so I think I have a lot of personal attachment to the technology behind. But on a serious note, I think this gives a lot of opportunity. This is one of the functions, is the frontline function there, where you are constantly interacting with the customer for the rest of the life of period. Unlike a one-time interaction during the point of sale, this happens every time. So there is a lot of opportunity in aftermarket, where we say always the first sale is done by the sales team, every other repeat sale is done by the aftermarket team. Yes. So you have to maintain the relationship with the customers. But it's a very interesting area, because this is what keeps us midnight oil burning, because you don't know what comes up next day morning. Exactly. So that keeps us a little bit on toes. That I think the team also loves this. Be it parts, or be it competency, be it of fixing a vehicle back on road, attending a vehicle on the road, attending a vehicle in the mining segment. So different terrains and different geographies. These are some of the exciting stuff about aftermarket.
But with younger transporters coming in, do you see a change of attitude or working here?
Yeah, I mean, it's evolving. At the end of the day, there's nothing hard and fast. So the passion is still there. People who are in the aftermarket will have the passions. So when they are now challenged with the very difficult, problems. In the earlier days, it was simple failures. We used to fix it in a way. So, right. Today, the electronics complexity, for example. So a mechanical engineer is tempted to get trained on electronics also now. So there are different challenges, I would say. But most importantly, I think today this energy is spent mostly in motivating the dealer, staff and manpower, because this is an endless, pursuit. Actually. So keeping the process intact, because so much of process orientation is there. So how do we keep we run an extensive program on KPIs for the dealerships. So each technician knows what is expected to do also. So training them on the process, and how do you manage the softer skill also we need to focus now, because customers are also under tremendous pressure with their clients. Absolutely. So how do you take care of those drivers who are, really, they come under a lot of tension when they are having a breakdown. Right. So a little bit of soft aspect, like how do you handle the service advisors become key. The CRE becomes key in this segment, because how do you talk to the customer make a lot of difference. So I think the focus of our own teams are also how do you streamline systems in the process in the system, and how do you do the software aspect of dealership management. That's where these teams are focusing on there.
Thank you so much, Ramesh.
Thanks, Harish.
Without falling in. Yeah. Eicher has taken huge strides in ramping up its dealer network with a razor-sharp focus on service. As we heard from Ramesh, they have been continuously training their dealers to make sure they deliver the guarantee promised to the customers by Eicher. So how exactly does the process work at the dealership, and what are the facilities at this particular dealership? Utkarsh takes us around the dealership and tells us more about the facilities and processes. Here's Utkarsh Agarwal, a young dealer principal who is equally enthusiastic to be in the commercial vehicle space. So what is the process that is followed here?
So basically, when a truck comes in for the service, here service advisor meets the truck driver. He sees and tries to understand what is the exact requirement and customer is looking for. So depending on the nature of work, they open the job card, put in the details in the FRT, what time will be delivered the customer vehicle. So service and major overhauling is done there. If it's a quick diagnosis work, then they move to the right-hand side base where diagnosis work or a telematic issue or an electronic issue is there. So depending on that, advisor first identifies the kind of work, opens the job card here, and then it goes to the floor. There the floor supervisor meets and the service advisor. Then they give the estimate to the customer, and after that the work happens.
We can go to the floor and see what's happening there.
Definitely, exactly.
So how many bays do you have here, Utkarsh?
So in total we have 43 bays. It is the biggest setup in India right now. 21 bays we have here straight, 11 accidental bays, 7 for quick repairs, and then 4 for PDI.
Okay.
Currently we are doing around 1100, 1200 vehicles in this setup.
Okay. And also from the time a vehicle comes in, for a very normal routine work, what is the rollout time?
So depending on the nature of work, if it's a diagnosis work, it is done normally within the 2 hours. What we call is the FRT. And if it's a first service or a third service, normally the time period is 3 hours. Depending on the nature of work, if it's a major engine overhauling work or an aggregate,
That's of course a different.
that can take.
But a routine service would be out in like 4 hours.
So our commitment to customer,
4 and 5 hours.
yeah, our commitment to customer is 99% will deliver it the same day. 1% there has to be an exceptional case where the vehicle is in the workshop, because we know the value of uptime for a customer, the EMIs he has to pay. So even if we have to do an extended shift for that vehicle, we make sure that our floor is absolutely ready, like neat and clean in the afternoon once we go back.
Okay. I think we can take a look around and see what's happening here.
Yes. So this is wheel alignment area. So normally, earlier trucks, they didn't used to get a wheel alignment. It was presumed that it is only for the car. But now a lot of customers are preferring 3D alignment machine, getting the alignment done through a advanced machine. It helps to increase the time life of the tires as well. And for the fuel efficiency also, now customers are preferring to get it done in the authorized service centers also, wheel alignment. So basically, this is the latest model from the truck cam. It's a 3D wheel alignment machine. If you see, we are able to put the cameras and able to see how much out the tire is and what alignment issue does the vehicle have. And in this way, we are able to resolve the issue within an hour. Earlier, it used to take at least 3 to 4 hours for a manual machine or not the latest one. So they put in the cameras there. The plates are here.
I know, Utkarsh, a lot of people think that, wheel alignment is an expensive thing. What is the usual cost for this?
So normally it depends. If it's a 6-tire truck, we normally charge 800 rupees.
Okay.
And if it's 12 tire or 14 tire, it goes to 1200, 1400, depending on the tonnage and the vehicle. But when we bought this machine, what we did is we gave a lot of customers free wheel alignment, just to make sure they understand what the benefit of wheel alignment is. Yeah. Then after a while, customers started paying 50% of the wheel alignment cost. Now customers are ready to pay 100% of the cost. And we've actually taken out the cost of the machine in less than 6 months.
And ideally, what are the savings like when you have a proper wheel aligned truck?
I think in the tire life, they can save up to 10% to 15% additional for the tire. And it affects the fuel efficiency also. So that way, 3 to 4% of the fuel added advantage customer can get from the wheel alignment.
Okay.
So this is our warranty manager. So whatever work has to be done in warranty, he first checks the vehicle, checks the age of the vehicle and approves it. Then only the service advisor goes ahead with the warranty works.
Okay. Yes.
Power again. So these are the parts which we got in warranty. They have to be dispatched to Pitampur Eicher facility.
Okay.
And everyone they are dispatched back to the plant. We'll do the parks area.
Yes, we'll do the parts.
So this is our lubricant area. In the BS6 trucks, AdBlue consumption is also there. So we have a good storage area for AdBlue and oil. So this is our entire lubricant area. Next I'll show you around is the parts room. This is our dedicated parts area. We have 2 floors there, and our hit ratio for the parts is approximately 98 to 99%. So whatever vehicles comes in our workshop, 99% of the time parts are available. Only one time if it's not available, we can get it from the nearby workshop. This is our accidental area from where we do the feeding for the accidental parts. This is for our service, where we do the feeding for the service. And that side we have a window for the express repairs also.
And because do you often have a thing where, some critical part is not available? How do you make sure it gets here in good time?
So Eicher has a lot of regional warehouses also. So there are two warehouses close by to us. One is in Manesar, second is in Lucknow. So the 1% of the parts, if we don't have, we can get either from the closest dealership. We also have branches in Etawah, Aligarh. If the part is available there, we can move it through an aggregator. Otherwise, if you put a VUR order for the vehicle, off-road vehicle, normally the part is delivered the same day or within maximum, I think, 12 hours. 12 hours to the next day. And through the RDCs, they are able to supply the parts.
So back in the days, shortage of parts was a major issue. Is it still a major issue? I think it's just an on-off thing which happens.
I think Eicher has done a wonderful job in parts. I think it's the only OEM which is doing monthly buyback for the parts. Our entire inventory is taken care by Eicher. So they know what exactly the parts we require. They do an auto billing. If the part is not moving in our stock for more than 6 months, they auto pick it. So before the Spurti system came in, we carried almost 4 months of stock. Now we have gone to, I think, 1.6 to 1.7 times only, and that is very good for an auto industry, if you see.
Absolutely.
Yes. So this is our accidental facility. We have 11 bays for accidental. Normally, our tag for accidental, if it's a minor repair, we try to do it within 7 days. And if it's a major accidental repair, like chassis repair, cabin repair, we do it in 14 days. And I think we are able to do almost 95, 98% vehicles within that time level.
Okay.
So we have a good parts availability. If you see, there's a cabin going on for a repair. This new cabin has to be put in a truck. We have a paint facility. And also we have an overhead crane, if you see. That is very good and good investment for an truck workshop. So we have a 5-ton crane there. So whatever heavy parts are there, cabin, engine, body, we're able to do it quickly, and it saves time and labor as well.
And how many accidental vehicles do you get here? I mean, average?
Last month we did 24. I think average is like 20, 25. Last one was due to heavy fog and lot of expressways coming through Agra.
Right.
Noida Agra Expressway, then Agra Lucknow Expressway. So we get normally major accidental works due to heavy fog or speeding now coming in. Minor accidental repairs are, I think, only 20-30% which we get.
Okay.
That's a 10-tire truck which is going under repair. So it has a chassis bend also, and the cabin repair is also going on for that. So you see there was a lot of damage on the top, the side doors and everything. They're repairing.
So, because ideally, how long would this truck, how much time would this truck take from start to end? Since it's like a complete loss thing.
So basically, a lot of time is delayed in the surveyor's approval. Once we get the approval from the surveyor or the customer, we normally try to do it within 14 days. So parts availability is not an issue. The only repair part takes 3 to 4 days. Then paint takes another 2 days. We have separate teams from painter, welder, fitters, and then mechanical work. We have separate team. So it goes through stages, and normally we're able to put the vehicle back in 14 days.
So your job is done in 14 days?
Once we get the approval, yeah. Our job is done in 14 days. So these are vehicles which are ready, accidental vehicles. Some are under surveyor approval.
Right.
Some are ready for connection. If you see, that is pending for the DO. That is the delivery order from the insurance company.
Right.
So this takes a lot of time, because what happens is normally if there's a death or an injury, so it goes to a third party claim, and then insurance companies takes a lot of time. Which we have for our entire truck and buses range. The good thing is I should never pushes stock to the dealers. We normally operate on 14 to 21 days inventory, which is very good for an auto dealer. And best part about Eicher is if the truck is not moving for 90 days, if it's in my stock, then my regional team has to answer the HO that why the truck is in the dealer stock for more than 90 days, and they take it back.
Okay.
So wherever there is requirement. Our stock is almost moving 2 times right now because of the increased demand in the TIV right now. And if you see the PDI which we have to do, I think a lot of steps have been taken in the plant. So normally, I think 99 or 100% of the trucks, they are coming like A1 condition.
Okay.
Our team just checks it before the delivery for the customer. So I think 0 defect trucks are coming in.
And then your PDI area is on the right.
Yeah, so we have 4 bays for the PDI. So if you see there's a bus, new bus which has come in and a truck. So our team is just checking with the driver for all the special tools, equipments are there or any damage is there, diesel and everything. So once they do the PDI, they put an OK tag and it moves to our stockyard. And once the customer comes for the delivery, then they also inspect again and they show the vehicle, everything like the tire, the engine oil, gear oil, everything. They make sure that the customer checks if he wants to check, and then we hand over the vehicle. It moves the vehicle once a customer. Normally, what happens is customer likes to see the vehicle and then choose. For some reason,
Okay.
they won't say you just build the vehicle. They'll come out of the lot. They'll select few trucks. They'll check and then select the truck, and then it moves to the delivery area after the PDI happens.
And you also have a restroom for jockey drivers, right?
Yeah, so that is in the front, and we have a waiting area for the drivers and a water facility as well. So normally when a driver comes in from Pithampur, he's been handling the truck for more than 2 days, so he needs rest.
Right.
So our team inspects the truck. He can have sit around or go through our facility. So you can see just now a bus has come in. So they are doing the PDI for that. So driver must be there. Apply over bus. So he's got the bus from Pithampur right now. So he's just come in. So this is Eicher Gurukul, where we training our ITI technicians. We're doing a tie-up with a lot of ITI institutes. This is specifically designed for blue collar, and the requirement of the industry is there's a shortage of skilled manpower, especially in the workshops. So what we're trying to do is we build an in-house training center that will be for our blue collars, mechanics, technicians, as well as we'll be doing training for the roadside mechanics as well. So a customer shouldn't feel that Eicher ka vehicle yaar mujhe workshop mein hi le jana padega. So even if he's stuck off-road somewhere, there's a manpower available where he can do the small basic diagnosis work or the repair work. So we are doing a tie-up with almost 25 ITI institutes where we'll be training their batches as well as our students.
And how many do you retain out of them?
So we've just started this. I think our target is we'll be able to retain at least 20-25%, which are in the proximity of our dealership area. Right. So if a student is coming in from 100 kilometers far away, so it will be not feasible for them to come in. But I'm pretty sure that we'll be able to retain at least 20-25% of the manpower. And because if you see, there's a lot of vehicle inflow which is increasing day by day. So we are planning a night shift as well. For that, we are trying to cater the demand and the skills through this Eicher Gurukul. So this basically everything has been supplied through Eicher. So if you see, there's a lot of work which Eicher does for the dealer facilities also. So they have invested a lot of money. They have sent all the aggregates. We have only done the branding and all. And they'll be doing a training for one of our in-house trainer. So he'll be trained and certified to upskill the blue collar and categorize them into expert, master, performer categories as well.
Okay. And what more facilities do we have ahead?
So we have a classroom there and a electrical. This is our electrical room. It is undergoing work right now. It is not complete right now. So we have a advanced electrical training board for the Pro 6000 at the 8000 series. So this is our heavy duty series. So every electrical part which is in the vehicle, it's available there. It is very easy for a fresher also to understand what exactly. So this is like a cranking circuit. This is an ACM power supply. This is the EAT system. So it will be very easy for a fresher also to understand what part is it and what are the cables and the wiring included in it. So we'll be putting more for the Pro 3000 series, 2000 series, and also for the Pro X, which is our small commercial.
Okay.
So it is undergoing work right now. Theoretical class for all the blue collar. So this is our Gurukul classroom, where we can we'll be able to train 24 students in one batch. So if you see, this is all ready, and this we'll be starting batches from March again. So whatever is, this is the diesel intake and exhaust system. Different things are there, and we'll also have a projector and everything in place, where we're able to train the blue collars about the theoretical things, not the practical. Practical ground will be there for them to engage. This will be more like a theoretical thing, or what error does it show on the dashboard? What exactly does this error code means? or what sign does this mean. So normally a driver is not able to understand. वो कहेगा एक light जल रही है dashboard में, तो light किस चीज की है? So that we'll be doing training for drivers also. So we have a lot of customers whose transport managers or drivers want to understand before delivery or after delivery कि यार ये light किसकी है, या ये error code आया तो क्या है, या छोटा मोटा कोई काम हुआ तो we'll be able to do it. So we'll be doing in-house training for the drivers also once they receive the new vehicle or they want a transport manager want to do a training session for them.
So Utkarsh, while we saw this facility, everything is good. Why did you choose this particular location? Strategically, how important is this?
So basically, if you see, this is the NH which goes from Delhi to Calcutta, which we are sitting. The link road, which you saw on the way, it's going straight to Rajasthan, which connects Agra, Jaipur, and then there's a cut which goes to Agra, Gwalior. Also, the Agra-Noida Expressway. So whatever truck is coming from from Noida to Agra, it just comes on this highway just half a kilometer ahead.
Okay.
So this place is strategically located on, it joins almost all the expressways which are coming to Agra, and also the highway which is going through the city. So if you see there's a lot of traffic going on the highway. So we chose this place strategically. It is a bit far from the city, like 15 to 18 kilometers.
But you don't need a truck dealership inside
the city. We need no entry space for the trucks.
Absolutely.
And also space for trailers who can just come in. So this is our Pro 6055. This is our horse. So whatever this truck comes in, there's a trailer behind it.
Right.
So we need parking space for the trailer as well. So looking at these points, we decided that this place has a lot of open area. We built this green belt also just to make sure that customer gets good look and feel of the dealership.
I was going to ask that, while car dealerships look good, this truck dealership also looks good.
Yeah.
That was a thoughtful investment.
See, customer demands are changing, customer expectations are changing. So with time, I think a truck driver is also getting advanced. He wants to feel like he's walking into a showroom. He's investing a lot of money in our vehicle.
Absolutely.
So he shouldn't be treated like he's buying some other product. He should be given like priority like a car customer. So I can assure you that this facility is better than few car dealerships also across the city. So we have invested a lot of money in and around the look and feel. So when a customer walks in, he should feel proud that he's buying a Eicher truck. He's investing money in the right hands.
Utkarsh, one last question. You're handling the dealership very well, the service part, everything is taken care of. How do you handle the discount part?
So, discount part is very tricky. So, we get a lot of support from OEM. So, case by case, we get support from OEM. But at the end of the day, there are a lot of customers which are repeat buyers. So, we do have to shed out some money from our pockets to retain them. But I think customer expectations, if you give them good service and if you had a good experience before with your truck, he will bargain with you, but he won't move to another OEM. That is for sure. That I know. Like if a customer has been with me for a few years, if I've done right with him, his service has been appropriate, he can bargain with me for the more discount, but he will never move to another OEM. That is for sure.
Thank you, Utkarsh, and best of luck.
Thanks, you. Thanks a lot, sir.
It is very clear that Eicher has a clear focus on after-sales service, and the effort is to keep the trucks on the road for as much as time as possible, using all the possible tools, be it Eicher Live or the extensive dealer network. The idea is to offer maximum efficiency to the truck owners, further enhancing the tag of mileage ka badshah. The road transport industry is clearly tilting to a regime where there is extensive focus on productivity and efficiency, while the transporters have little say if their trucks are detained by the customers. However, they surely expect the dealer network to deliver their vehicles at a lightning pace. Eicher has been ramping up its dealer network and at the same time making sure that trucks are in and out of the service stations in quick time, thus making sure that the transporters have one less reason for their trucks being detained. We will be back again next week with yet another interesting and insightful conversation. Until next week, stay safe and drive safe. Jai Hind.